got to fight this guy. Oh, you got injured in camp. You lose to that guy too. Now you're set back when you could have been a champion.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like weirdness going on with possibilities and just luck, bad luck, and good luck.
Bad luck and good luck. Timing, I think, is a
Yeah.
big thing.
How is something like this allowed to happen? How is Jake Paul allowed to fight Gervonta Davis?
I
It's
don't know.
completely unfair. It is completely just it's I can't say the word that I want to say because I don't want to get canceled.
And then going out there and taking on a guy that is maybe 92 pounds heavier, that is at least 65 pounds heavier than you. That is called one thing. That's called being a bully.
Joe Rogan harshly criticized Jake Paul for agreeing to fight Gervonta "Tank" Davis despite the massive size difference. He emphasized that weight classes exist to ensure safety and fairness in boxing, warning that ignoring them is dangerous. Rogan argued that Jake seems more interested in promoting the spectacle than respecting the sport's integrity. With Jake's bigger frame and power advantage, Rogan believes the matchup is unsafe and unnecessary and puts Tank at serious risk.
Sure, but no time limit within the weight class.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
That would be pretty wild.
Yeah, that'd be pretty
Because
crazy.
like two guys are facing off each other, like, and they know, like, there's no rescue
Yeah.
every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's-
And you go into it knowing you're either getting knocked down or submitted, or
Right.
you're doing that to the
Yeah.
other person.
Michael Bisping expressed serious concerns over Jake Paul's decision to fight Gervonta "Tank" Davis despite the massive weight difference between them. He noted that Jake is preparing to face someone nearly 100 pounds lighter, which completely disrupts boxing's natural balance and fairness. Bisping reminded fans that Jake's earlier matchup with 58-year-old Mike Tyson was already controversial due to Tyson's age and retirement. Now, challenging Tank Davis adds to that controversy. According to Bisping, this fight doesn't represent true competition, but rather Jake seeking an unfair advantage to boost his reputation. He emphasized that boxing is built on equal, honorable contests where both fighters share similar conditions. In this case, the extreme size gap makes the matchup look one-sided, raising ethical questions and safety concerns for Tank Davis while putting the sport's integrity at risk.
One thing. That's called being a bully. It was bad enough when he fought Mike Tyson, a man that was 58 years old, and he was walking around like, oh, I just beat the baddest man on the planet. I just destroyed Mike Tyson and went out there and I beat him, and him and his brother are all celebrating and shit like that. It's like, dude, what are you doing? What don't you understand about this? If you want respect from your peers, if you want everyone on the planet to look at you and take you seriously and give you credit as a boxer, you have to take on challenges that are real. You have to go up against someone that keeps you up at night, against someone that gets you out of bed in the morning to go for a run because the fear of them beating you down is real. Not going up against someone that is so small. If you were to go up to this guy in a bar and try and start a fight with them, people would look at you and say one word: whoa, 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 stop being such a bully. Leave him alone. You are way bigger than this guy. And that's clearly what we have here. It is ridiculous. When you look at the tail of the tape, Gervonta "Tank" Davis, granted, a very, very skilled boxer, a world champion. He's had some great wins. He's had a tremendous career. He's got 28 knockouts on his record. I'm just looking at the tail of the tape here. 30 years old, Jake Paul, 28. Gervonta Davis is 5'5" tall, whereas Jake Paul is 6'1". I would never dream on picking on a guy that is 5'5" tall. Granted, there's some tough guys out there that are 5'5". Okay, they're smaller guys, but for 5'5", they'll pack a good punch. Typically, they're mixed martial artists or boxers. Yeah.
Teddy Atlas reacted to the face-off between Jake Paul and Gervonta "Tank" Davis by emphasizing the massive size gap between them. He joked that Tank would need a ladder just to reach Jake's chin, illustrating how extreme the difference is. Atlas acknowledged that variations in skill and style are normal in boxing, but in this case, the physical disparity is simply overwhelming. He noted that Tank's smaller frame makes it nearly impossible to compete effectively, rendering the fight clearly mismatched.
Things, right? They should also have like the size of the ring, the size of the glove, all that stuff. Particular should be in the contract. But I would probably look for one thing that is not the common thing to have in a contract if I'm Tank. A ladder. A ladder. Can I get a ladder? Somebody? You know what I mean? Hey, look. All kidding aside, if he hits him on the chin the way he can punch, you know, Jake might be doing a dance. You know what I mean? Not voluntarily either. Well, but we'll get into that more later. The thing that I'm talking about right here is what you said. It was stark. The size difference was really, you couldn't ignore it. We understand the talent difference, the experience difference. We understand all of that. But the size, the pure, and we understand small guys can beat big guys. We just saw Crawford do it to Canelo, but a little different. The size difference was, I mean, it was eye catching, jaw dropping. And it made me think, and I'm going to ask Richie, our man here who's doing all the taping, who does such a marvelous job. I'm going to ask him because I know he's an expert in this area. But it reminded me of one of the Rocky movies where they had the face, where they did the wrestling thing with Rocky and Hulk Hogan, a.k.a. Thunderlips. He was Thunderlips back there.
Joe Rogan criticized Jake Paul, saying his fights are driven more by promotion than genuine competition. He explained that these matchups are designed to attract casual fans and generate buzz through unusual pairings rather than sporting credibility. The hype, betting talk, and spectacle surrounding such events, according to Rogan, aim to garner attention rather than demonstrate skill. He believes Jake understands how to stay in the spotlight, using boxing mainly as a tool for attention and self-promotion.
That's a problem. That makes it a problem. My opinion is, I just want to say, in case someone calls me into court, I'm a fucking idiot and I don't know nothing. And don't take my advice.
I love the Saudis.
Don't take my opinion.
I love the Israeli government. I love
That
everybody.
had nothing to do with them. That was Jake Paul promoting it. It's just like,
But
doesn't bother me.
there's compromising the sport, and that's like bad. It's just like
If I bet on it, it
watching
bothers
it
the
is
fuck
hard.
out.
Watching it with
Yeah.
people who are so in on it, and then also man, the sports betting apps, they introduced like chat apps in them in Australia, so it's like they're trying to take the place of social media companies where you go together and you meet your friends. Like betting should be exciting enough without having a weird.
They're just trying to draw you
Parasocial
in.
thing.
They're just trying to make money, right? So they're trying to draw you in any way they can.
Leonard Ellerby revealed that Gervonta "Tank" Davis wasn't in the right mental space to face Lamont Roach. He explained that Tank was dealing with several personal issues and didn't want to add more stress by taking another fight. According to Ellerby, this lack of motivation and focus was the real reason the matchup never happened, despite fan expectations. He added that Tank prioritized stabilizing his personal life over competing, choosing peace of mind instead of unnecessary pressure.
Leonard Ellerby said,
Reports suggest that Gervonta "Tank" Davis may retire after his upcoming fight with Jake Paul, marking the end of an era in his career. According to insiders, this decision is less about legacy or championship ambitions and more about achieving financial stability. Observers believe Tank accepted the fight primarily for the massive guaranteed purse rather than competitive motivation. The matchup, therefore, seems more like a strategic business move than a genuine sporting challenge. Analysts also highlight that Tank has faced immense personal and professional pressures in recent years, which could be influencing his decision. By taking on a high-profile but unconventional fight against Jake Paul, Tank appears to be securing one final lucrative payday before stepping away from the ring. In this sense, the bout represents a calculated plan to safeguard his financial future before retirement.
What you make? Like, let's go ban for ban on what you making. Again, there's nothing wrong with Tank going to get his money, but let's all be clear that that's all the fight is for Tank. He's telling you without telling you that he's fighting Jake just because he's getting $40 million. So when we talk about boxing being dead, Tank has to line up at the front of the line. I can't blame him. Don't throw around, oh, boxing's dead and people switch sides and all of that. You chose not to be great. That's it. You chose not to be great. Stuff like that, choices like that will kill boxing. For sure. On a competitive level, it won't kill it on a business level. On a business level, until people run out of interest in these kind of matchups, it'll do well. On a competitive level, choosing not to fight the best will kill the sport. So maybe it's better if people like Tank aren't in the sport. And I don't even say that because I want that to be the case. I think Tank is ridiculously talented, but you can't want a fighter to fight more than what they want to. You can't. Tank fans or Tank people that like Tank and think he's one of the best, you can't want it for him. And then Shakur came back with, that's how I know you soft. Can't even go back and forth with your soft ass. You'd rather pop to me on social media than get in that fire and get embarrassed. I get it. Peace and blessings upon you, cuz. He says, the people got your chest out so bad. You talking like you a killer, forgetting that you the one that runs, bitch. I'll be bring the fight to you. This dude, a made-up character. Quote, blessings upon you. Clown ass dude, wanna be Oh my goodness. I mean, here's the thing though. You can't say that stuff about Shakur if you're not willing to fight him. This is the point I think that we're going to come to today, is that Tank can say all this stuff he wants, but if you're not willing to fight Shakur, then none of it means anything anymore. Even if you believe that Tank is going to knock him out, even if you believe that Shakur's a runner, or that he's not in the trenches, or he's not a boxer that's willing to bring the fight, or whatever, none of it matters. You're talking from the sideline because you won't fight him.
If Gervonta Tank Davis manages to knock out Jake Paul, it could completely shift the narrative in boxing. That single moment would go viral worldwide, turning Tank into a boxing hero and restoring faith in real competition over spectacle. Fans would celebrate him for protecting the sport's honor and shutting down unfair matchups once and for all. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful boxing updates and breakdowns.